Why do I do this to myself? Okay, there are a lot of games that receive a lot of attention for various aspects of their design, whether they perfect a formula, innovate, or probe nostalgia. But the thing is, sometimes a game receives too much attention. Here, I count down the games I consider to be the most overrated. Now, let me get this out of the way. Overrated does not mean I hate these games. In fact, most of these games I like. I just feel that these games get more attention than they deserve, hence the term overrated. So because of that, certain games I personally hate will not be on this list. Like Okami. While I think it's a repetitive, frustrating, and stupid waste of time, I can see why people like it, so it's not on the list. Same with Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I can see why people like this game. Even though I personally feel it's stale, stepped down from Oblivion with too many inconveniences to warrant... Okay, I'm rambling. Start the list. Batman Arkham City is one of my favorite games of all time. It's on my top 25, in fact. And you know what? A lot of people agree with me. But seriously, people, I think you need to calm the heck down. When this game was released, gamers swarmed to attack anyone who had the audacity to score this game lower than a 9. Now that happens with a lot of games nowadays, but here's the thing that tips it in Batman Arkham City's favor. Yahoo Games gave Batman Arkham City a 6 out of 5.
Highly illogical.
If there's one fanbase I can't stand, it's the Sonic fanbase. They are downright unpleasable. Hey, guess what? Sonic wasn't always perfect. The Sonic fanbase is so quick to denounce the evils of Sonic Heroes, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Colors, when they need to realize that the earlier 3D Sonic games weren't as good as they think they are, particularly Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Now, I like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I pop it in every now and again, but seriously people, this game wasn't as good as you think it was. While this game did have great level design, for the most part, it pulled crap you would never get away with nowadays. Like playing the game twice. Yeah, that makes a successful game, doesn't it? And of course, the voice and audio control for these games were terrible.
Have no fear! Amy Rose is here!
The main argument I'm trying to put forth here is you can't trash later Sonic games for mistakes that earlier ones made. That's just not fair. I love Valve. They have such great business practices, they constantly listen to user feedback, and they playtest their games to near perfection. Portal is in my top 50 favorite video games of all time, Left 4 Dead 2 is in my top 25, Team Fortress 2 in my top 5, and Half-Life 2 is... It's by no means a bad game, but I really hesitate to lavish it with the same amount of praise everyone else has. Okay, let's see what people praise this game for. The graphics, yes, I can see that at the time. The gameplay, well, sure, it's functional, but it's nothing spectacular. The music, other than radio, nothing sticks out. The story, I found it incredibly confusing. Maybe that's because I never played the first one, I don't know. The gravity gun, sure it was fun, but I personally found that gimmicky. And even so, there's a lot of things in this game that bug me. The vehicle section in this game control horribly. Second, the puzzles are so gimmicky. Yes, Valve, you have a physics engine. Please stop shoving it down my throat. Lastly, Gordon Freeman himself bugs me. People are so quick to call Gordon Freeman one of the greatest video game characters of all time, when he's just an empty shell. He is a zero-dimensional character where things just happen around him. In a game like Metroid Prime, it makes sense for the character to be silent, but not in a game like this, where characters are constantly talking. Don't say he's supposed to be that way for immersion purposes. If that were the case, then why give him an iconic appearance, a backstory? Look, Half-Life 2 is a very well-designed game, but people really need to stop throwing it on a pedestal and worshipping it as the holy grail of PC gaming. Yes! I did it! I put a Call of Duty game on an overrated games list! Are you happy now? Are you satisfied? Will you stop pestering me about it? Will you stop sending me hate messages about me liking Call of Duty over other FPSs? Will you stop ignorantly calling all Call of Duty games overrated? Because you arrogant fanboys can't tell the difference between a game that's trying to entertain you rather than trying to be realistic or compelling because—
Josh, focus! Fine.
Yes, Black Ops is really the only Call of Duty game I consider to be overrated. Because when people talk about Call of Duty, this game is most of the time the topic, and this bugs me admittedly more than it should, because I feel that the other Call of Duty games are much better. Call of Duty 4, great story, innovative multiplayer. World at War, wonderful campaign, hit or miss multiplayer, and it introduced zombies. Modern Warfare 2, my personal favorite of the franchise. Modern Warfare 3, pretty good, didn't leave as much of an impact as I liked it would, but it was still good. And Black Ops just irritates me. The gameplay feels so much slower and clunkier, and it doesn't flow as well like the previous games, kinda like Brawl vs. Melee. The multiplayer maps were pretty good, but I really have to call into question those COD points. And the campaign, okay, I liked 2 missions of that. I liked the Vorkuta mission and the Blackbird mission, but the rest of them were just so boring! And the story itself was stupid. I can see they were trying to go for an Assassin's Creed type narrative, but it just doesn't work. And the final thing that bugs me about Black Ops is the lighting. It's just really off. Everything is darkened up and the blue makes everything in Black Ops hard to see. Oh my gosh, I just got it. Everything in Black Ops is hard to see. Even though I don't play Halo constantly, I can still appreciate these games. Halo 1, good story, simple and challenging gameplay, fun multiplayer, especially those pistols. Halo 3, great story, decent multiplayer, added Forge mode. Halo ODST, yeah, no one likes that one. Reach, great characters, good story, phenomenal multiplayer. Halo 2. Ugh. Halo 2 is on this list because it's regarded as just as good as the other games, and again, this bugs me more than it should. Halo 2's story is ridiculous. It wasn't enough for it to shut down any initial continuity. The game kept us in the dark story-wise for no good reason. It was beyond vague and constantly threw exposition dumps at us. Oh, and of course, there was that lovely ending. The multiplayer did very little to innovate. Yay, dual wielding! Other games did that first. You're a couple years late. Vehicle hijacking! Oh yes, the amount of times I used that was staggering. Bottom line, Halo 2 had a lackluster story, a multiplayer that did little to innovate, and this game is just as good as the others? If you say so. Resident Evil 4 is considered to be one of the greatest horror games ever, completely reinventing itself and delivering some truly horrific scares. To which I would disagree. Now, I don't hate this game, as it does manage to legitimately scare me from time to time, and the campiness can be really funny, and the gameplay works well for the tone it creates. But there's quite a few things about this game that knock it down from perfection. Most glaringly, the quick time events. They come out of freaking nowhere, brutally punishing you for just wanting to sit back and enjoy a cutscene. It just sucks so much of your enjoyment out of the game. Warnings would be nice! And I know I complimented the campiness earlier, but there's a lot of times when it just sucks the mood away. And of course...
Leon!
Oops. I I love the Kingdom Hearts series. It is so much fun. These games have some of the best hack and slash engines ever put in a video game. These games are so flashy, so ridiculously fun. But these games are just so stupid. While I love these games, as stories, these games leave a lot to be desired. I could handle the Disney Square Worlds crossing over until the characters showed up. Sora is so annoying. He's completely one-dimensional and gets excited over everything. Also, there is way too much fan service in these games, particularly Final Fantasy 7 and 8. I detect a little bit of bias from the writer. The characters either copy-paste lines verbatim from their source material and deliver them awkwardly, no less, like we haven't heard them before. Adding on, they usually take what originally made these characters great and threw them out the window. The story is atrocious. It's excessively complicated and filled with so many awkward lines.
No. Xion. Who else will I have ice cream with?
Wow, Roxas. Xion will die happy knowing all you cared about was the ice cream. Could you imagine if they used that line in Titanic?
I'll never let go. I promise. Who else will I have ice cream with?
You know, I think what made me hate Secret of Mana so much was what I was expecting from it. The story is unbearably cliched and beyond cryptic. The music, for the most part, is annoying. I can tell they were trying to do something unique here, but it wasn't always successful. Sure, the graphics look nice and bright and colorful, but hey, so does Chrono Trigger in Final Fantasy VI. And lastly, the gameplay. A lot of people pointed out that co-op, one thing that will insta-sell a game for me, is featured in this game. And that would have been great if it were available at the beginning. Unlock the co-op. Allow me to appeal to your common sense. What sense does that make?
Hey, guess what, Josh? I just got this cool new game called Secret of Mana, and it has co-op! Well, come on, pop it in, let's play it. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, let's play some co-op! Man, this game sucks. Hey, it's no picnic for me either. I don't get it. This game said it had co-op in it. I don't know where the co-op is. Wait a minute. We just got a new party member. Wait a second. You have to unlock the co-op. I believe so. Okay, man, you are freaking useless. Release. Why can't my shadow clones get me better games?
The gameplay is patience trying. How this game works is that for a successful blow, you have to wait for a meter to charge before you place another one. While that's fine and dandy for a boss battle, for normal enemies that take about 3 to 4 hits, appear constantly, and have predictable attack patterns, it's pretty frustrating. And I will find whoever designed that menu interface and vertical butt stroke them! I hate this game. I really do. People rag on games like Call of Duty and Dynasty Warriors for being complete copy-paste sequels, but when Mario does it, why does it suddenly get a free pass? Super Mario Galaxy 2 is nothing more than an over-glorified expansion pack. Music, copy-pasted. Levels, copy-pasted. Gameplay, copy-pasted. And before you say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, it was broken from the first one as well. There is no obstacle you can't clear with a long jump and a spin. Which brings me to how insultingly easy this game is. The game is so afraid of you failing that it constantly holds your hand throughout the entire game. Green stars, fake difficulty. Grandmaster Galaxy, beat it first try. Lastly, the level design is very stale. Besides thematic clones from the first game, for a game with the word Galaxy in the title, there's very little space in the game at all. The first game was able to pull off level themes while still making you feel like you were in space. This one just feels gimmicky. My point is, you can't just go around calling other games copy-paste sequels, but then just ignore it when Mario does it. my number one most overrated game of all time is Tetris. Okay. Seriously, people? You're seriously gonna call this game one of the greatest games of all time? Alright. You're telling me that you would rather play Tetris than Metal Gear Solid 3. You would rather play Tetris than Skyrim. You would rather play Tetris than Team Fortress 2. Do you see where I'm going with this? I see this game on dozens of best game ever lists, and it just doesn't deserve it. Now, before you go all ape on me, I am fully aware of the history behind Tetris and how much it impacted the NES's sales, but that's more of it being influential rather than a good game. When was the last time you actively sought out playing Tetris? When was the last time you thought, I don't think I want to play Battlefield 3, I think I want to play some Tetris? I bet it was you were waiting in line for something and had nothing else to do. I'm the Fiery Joker, and I'll concede Tetris is a fun and challenging game, but it does not deserve to stand amongst the greatest games of all time.
Cut!